This is the Wrestling Replay. You are watching episode number 8 of Let's Talk About It, where I talk about anything and everything in the world of wrestling that I choose to talk about. I am your host, Cato, and let's be honest, there's only really one piece of news that the wrestling world is talking about this week, and that is Cody and Brandy actually leaving AEW. Before we get started, go ahead, hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. All right. Now, as far as Cody Rhodes go, I want to say this. For a while now, to me, it feels like for the better part of a year, I feel like Cody Rhodes has actually been trying to get away from being in the square circle, from actually being a wrestler. I feel like he's been more trying to push himself to the executive side, embracing his EVP role a little bit more. And it makes sense. I mean, he got the TV shows. He got his own show. He's constantly doing work in the back. He's putting so much on his plate, and it just kind of feels like he's always taking a break in between rivalries. Every feud he has, I feel like he goes away, he comes back, get beat, goes back away, come back, get the win, move on to the next feud, get beat, go away to reinvent himself and come back again. I just think that he has been trying to pass the torch. First, it was Brody Lee. Unfortunate situation with Brody Lee. I think next he tried to pass it on to Malachi Black. Malachi Black already has the buzz that he needs. So now, where does he pass the title to? Your up-and-comer, Sammy Guevara. So he has the title now, so that makes perfect sense. I feel like ever since Cody lost that match in the early stages of AEW, where he said he will never compete for the AEW World Championship, it was kind of like his way of saying it doesn't matter because I don't feel like I'm going to be, wrestling for too much longer anyway. So for me, it felt like Cody for a while now has actually been trying to just, transition his position from being inside the wrestling ring to being one of the guys in the back, to being the booker, to helping the younger talent, to just really embracing that executive role. Now, I see a lot of people commenting, making videos, asking questions on the DMs like, yo, do you think this is a work? Absolutely not. I absolutely do not think this is a work. For one, I don't understand what benefit that would have, not only for Cody Rhodes, but for AEW. How does tricking your loyal fans to thinking that Cody Rhodes is leaving your company help bring more eyes to your company? It doesn't. If I'm a loyal Cody Rhodes fan, right, and I'm only watching AEW because I love Cody Rhodes, if I think that he's not going to be on the show next week or the week after that or a month, I'm not going to watch that product anymore because that's who I come to see. I'm going to go and watch him on the Go Big show. I'm going to watch him on his own show. I'm going to watch him in whatever promotion that he decides to go to because my guy is Cody Rhodes. So by saying that, hey, this is a work, he's leaving the company, but he's really not, I think they would be shooting themselves in the foot and actually possibly losing viewership because, hey, those diehards aren't going to watch the show anymore. Now, let's really get into the fact of why would he be leaving? There's talks about Cody not getting the money he asked for. Okay, I can roll with that. I can roll with that because I knew this time would come. I knew it would come. I said to you guys a year ago on this same channel, I said, look, you're signing a lot of big names, a lot of new talent. Eventually, it's going to be time for you to re-up contracts, and everyone's not going to get re-up. It's not going to happen. Now, with someone like Cody Rhodes, kind of shot himself in the foot. You brought guys in, or you didn't bring him in, but guys like CM Punk came over, Bryan Danielson came over, guys like Adam Cole came over, Andrade. Those are huge names, but they also come with a really big ticket, a really big price tag. And you know what? If you would have probably renegotiated your deal, I say a couple of months, a couple of weeks before these guys came in and negotiated their deal, you would be fine right now. I think Cody Rhodes would still be in AEW. This wouldn't even be a thing. I think he would still be the TNT champion, as a matter of fact. But now that you bring these guys in, these other top stars who also bring in a fan base and viewership, you have now kind of lost the leverage, Cody. Cody has lost the leverage to the point that you're asking for all this money, and Tony's like, I don't feel like you're worth that much money, or I'm not willing to pay you that much money. Because you got to think, if he felt like you was really worth it, or felt like he needed you, he would definitely pay that fee, pay that ticket with no problem. But when you look at it and says, my ratings are going to do just fine, they're going to do the exact same thing they're doing. We just brought in Keith Lee. You know, he blew the roof off the place. We just brought in Brody King to team up with Malachi Black. They're going to get pushed to the next level pretty soon. Adam Cole, he still didn't go after the AEW title yet. Jay White is now there. It's a lot of talent that these guys are bringing in, and it kind of just hinders Cody. It's not like the 90s where guys in WCW like the Hogans and Nash would structure their deal so that if another top star came in or someone got offered more money than these guys did, then their contracts will automatically match what that top star is getting. So if I was only making $100K a year and then you offered Bret Hart to come in and you're going to give him $200K, cool. You just gave me a raise to $200K as well. It's not like WCW. It's not like the 90s. You know, so that kind of sucks. I mean, the fact that he also is losing, you know, creative control. He's losing some of those executive powers. I think it was a situation early on where Tony was like, hey, great, you guys are hand on, you guys are helping, perfect. But there became a time where Cody felt like he was on Tony Khan's level, and Tony had to give him that little that little tap tap. No. This is my company. You work for me. You're an EVP, but you work for me. You work for Tony. You know, my name is on the door. And I think that's where these guys really started to bump heads at. Because you got to think, Cody admired guys like Triple H. His dad is a real big influence on him. And these are guys who he watched do the executive stuff in the back. Then come out there and wrestle in the ring. These are guys who pretty much did it all. So Cody, only naturally, he's trying to fulfill those same type of shoes and do it all as well. And I'm not saying he was doing a bad job. I don't think he was. I don't really see the product changing much from when AEW first started. We get more exciting matches on TNT, you know, than I feel like you normally would on a regular scheduled wrestling program. But other than that, I mean, the booking seems good to me. So I don't know what issue it was besides the fact that I think Cody just wanted to do a little more. I think Cody wanted to treat AEW like he owned AEW, and that just wasn't the case. So I could see him losing creative control to Tony Khan. Tony being like, nah, this is my company. I'll handle this part. You can give your say, but that's really about it. Now, what happens is that with Cody losing control, Cody not being a top guy anymore, what are you now worth to Tony Khan? Did Cody lose his worth in AEW? Of course, you would like him to be there. You would love him to have him backstage. But you hear the whispers of Cody coming up or pulling up to the events or the shows in his big brand new bus that he just bought, or that big old mansion that he just bought. And now that begs the question, was Cody actually spending money before he actually got the money? And now you're asking for a price that Tony Khan's like, no, I'm not willing to pay for that. So I don't know what you're going to do. And if money is really the issue, then of course you know who would overpay for Cody Rhodes to come to their promotion, and that's Vince McMahon himself. Vince McMahon will overpay Cody millions of dollars. He will give him a check that AEW couldn't even come close to, just to have the ex EVP, to have the ex top guy of my competition now on the show. I could see Vince McMahon actually giving Cody Rhodes some creative powers to have NXT 2.0 to help out on there, to help out on NXT Next Level, just to kind of shove it in the face of Tony Khan. Not only did I take one of your top guys to help build that brand that you're on now, but I'm also giving them things that you can't give them or that you wouldn't give them. And that door will now be open for other guys in AEW currently who is there. That's talent. That's young. Saying, you know what? Cody looks kind of happy over there. Maybe there's a spot for me as well. And that can really create an issue, Tony. So I don't know how you're going to handle these next couple of weeks. There's a lot of guys on your rosters that aren't being used. A lot of talented guys that are not being used. They're being pushed out for guys like Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, Jay White, Miro, Malachi Black. These are people that the world already knows. One of the beauties about AEW is that you could turn on AEW when it first came on and you might see 5 to 6 guys you've never seen before and realize, like, damn, these guys are so talented. I'm glad that someone gave them a shot to display their talent on this type of level to the world. Now it's like, oh, that's the guy from NXT, or that's the top guy from New Japan. That's what we're kind of looking at now. And I've been waiting for the Briscoes to appear on AEW Network, and it haven't happened yet, but those are more top indie guys. But hey, you're going to run the company how you want to run the company. You're the billionaire, not me. I'm just saying how it looks on the outside looking in and what could possibly happen when these young guys are going to get pushed out, because people are going to get pushed out. They're going to go somewhere. Now you have to also think, with Cody leaving, if he does decide to go to WWE, if he does go to the competition, WrestleMania is right around the corner. How do you book him? How do you book him? You book him as the guy who comes in and dethrones Roman Reigns. I said it. Roman's the one. He has been dominating the wrestling world since he's came back from his leukemia battle. He has been dominating. Storylines, amazing. Matches, amazing. I'm sorry, it's not nothing close to what he's been doing in the wrestling world. I'm not saying that every match he did is better than every other match I've seen, but I'm saying he's consistently wrestling and performing at a high level since he has come back. Roman Reigns is in a position to make someone else a megastar. Do you understand that? He's in a position to make a superstar, a megastar, a star, a superstar, and a regular nobody a somebody. Because whoever dethrones Roman Reigns, you can guarantee there's going to be a big storyline to follow. You guarantee that's going to roll right into SummerSlam, the next big pay-per-view of WWE. You can guarantee that whoever beats him, the crowd is going to be behind them 110% because they were the ones who finally knocked off the one. So, if I'm going to roll it out, I'm going to roll it out big. If I'm going to offer you a spot, I'm going to give you the money. I'm going to give you the storyline. I'm going to give you some creativity. I'm going to let you go out there and talk in a microphone how you want to talk on a microphone. I'm going to give you things that other promotion could not give you, and I'm going to show you why exactly we are the number one if you perceive yourself to be the number one. So, what do I think Cody will do? I think Cody will go back to the table with Tony Khan. I think Tony Khan will weigh his options of, look, what is the worst case scenario if I lose Cody Rhodes? What could possibly happen? What is the outcome? And am I willing to deal with the backlash and the outcome that comes from letting Cody and Brandy walk away? You have to deal with that. Because you got to remember, this is not going to be your first time this is not going to be, sorry, your last time dealing with a situation like this. So other stars are watching to see exactly what happens and how you're dealing with Cody Rhodes and your promotion. You know, I love the fact that Tony Khan is always putting situations in the forefront. He's always letting the fans know, what's going on. This was the issue. This how I felt about it. And, it's going to be what it's going to be. For Cody, I don't think Cody is not going to get his worth, The only problem is I think he lost his leverage. I think bringing in all those top guys, I think Cody really lost his leverage. I think if he would have went to the negotiation table weeks before they got there, a month before they got there, he would have gotten everything that he wanted, maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more. It's hard to pay you like a top guy when you're not even the number 4 right now. I mean, guys like Moxley and Jericho and Cole, Heyman Page, Daniel Bryanson, CM Punk, MJF, these guys have surpassed you in the hierarchy of AEW. Not to even mention Kenny Omega, who's on the sideline right now. So yes, Cody, you were the TNT champion. I understand that you couldn't wrestle for the World Championship title. You shot yourself in the foot. I understand that you tried to make that TNT title the title of AEW, but it was only the title when you had it. You tried to make it as prestigious as you possibly could. You tried to make it seem like it was the title to have. But ultimately, hey, didn't really work out. I think Cody can come to a compromise. I think Tony Khan can come to a compromise. And I really think that these guys can get a deal done. I honestly would like to see them get a deal done because I like what Cody does behind the scenes. I like the young guys that Cody brings from the Nightmare family onto AEW. The young guys that he trains with, they're all talented. So he has a lot to offer AEW. But I wouldn't be surprised if he does end up on WWE, even if it's just for 2 years. Look at what he's doing. TV shows, and he wants to have creativity. Look at all the stars that WWE or that has been made from WWE outside of the wrestling ring. Look at Batista. Look at John Cena. Look at The Rock. Look at Stone Cold. Look at Goldberg. I mean, the list goes on. All these guys have ventured outside of WWE and have been very successful. So maybe this would be the right move for Cody if his ultimate goal is to start making, having other ventures and start traveling down other lanes outside of wrestling. Maybe WWE is a door that he should walk through to help him get to that path. I don't know, man, but I'm going to keep my eyes glued. I want to see exactly what happened. Cody has already proven himself in the indie scene. He's proven himself in AEW that he's a top guy. He's a star. And now it's up to WWE if they want to pay him that way, which I think they will. And it's going to be up to AEW to kind of like, look, I don't want you to go. What do we have to do to keep you happy? For fans and everybody else, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. You think Cody will stay? You think Cody will go? Hit me in the DMs at The Wrestling Replay on Instagram. And we will be doing another contest very, very soon. Possibly giving away one of these mini pops right here. Possibly giving away something for WrestleMania. Since that's coming up, I think that'll be a pretty cool event to give something away. But you have to be following The Wrestling Replay on Instagram. All right. I'm Cato. Let's talk about it. Episode number 8. I'm out of here. Peace.